trademark of like Apple or something? Does it relate to iPods? Is that how it started? Or was it not?
I can't remember.
It's an amalgam of podulate and oh fuck. If it was a Monday, I'd be on
You were
it,
so
and
close.
Yeah.
I was hanging on your every word. Okay.
Right. Go.
Hello there. Welcome to the first episode of the Totally Happening podcast. I am your co-host, Chavez, formerly known as video game player, and that's about it. I'm joined here by Hogwood.
It's me.
Audio-based thing that we're doing,
yeah.
and you're silently looking around.
I'm going to introduce myself through the medium of mime.
No, that's the opposite of what we need. And our man in the studio, Raptor,
Behind
Where
the
is he?
scenes.
behind the
Hello.
scenes,
He's down here.
dad and video game enthusiast.
That's me.
What are you, Gogwith?
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't give me a tag. Just enthusiast.
Just a
Of all things.
a general enthusiast. That's what we need.
A troll.
Which is exactly what this podcast is. It's a very general. We don't even know what we're going to talk about. It could be news. It could be nerd shit. It could be
Politics.
sport.
But it's totally happening.
It is totally happening all the time. I'm going to do a quick Google to see if the totally happening
Yeah, it's already taken.
podcast
While you're
is a
Googling,
thing.
can I start with a joke? I've been holding on to this joke all week. I didn't tell you guys yesterday or the day before when we chatted.
Safe.
Been holding on to a joke.
Go on.
Yeah? Right,
Go
let's
for
turn
it.
it in my head. Wait, I need to just go through it quickly. Make sure I've got the lines right.
Okay, I mean, I don't have high hopes for your jokes from previous experience, but I'm ready for it either way.
Right.
Please go on.
He's going to fuck it up, watch.
No, I am.
He's going to tell the punchline.
I am. Oh, that's what I panic about. And I start laughing because I find all of the jokes funny. And I need to get to the end. Right, here we go. It's a nice, quick, simple one. So, two nuns sat on a park bench, right? And then a flasher comes up in a trench coat, opens it up, waggles his dong at them, right? One nun has a stroke, the other one can't reach.
Okay, that's better than your normal standard.
Yeah. But you've exceeded yourself.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's the intro.
Perfect.
Set the tone.
Introductions. I mean, God, did we go through I think we had a more detailed introduction on our actual first episode, which never went anywhere.
Yeah,
For
why didn't
reasons
that go
out of
anywhere?
our control. The reasons out of
Maybe?
our control, really, I think.
Out of your control.
Can
Okay.
Before we talk about that, because that's going to be like the first half of the podcast is shaming
Okay.
Chavez. Can I just point out that I look like a Christmas pudding?
What? A little bit.
Why do I look like or one of those fat costumes, like those?
You do
sumo
actually. It looks
costumes?
really wide.
Why?
Why
Anyway.
is that? Makes it look like you got
enough
a tiny head.
distraction. Yeah, pinhead.
You look like a
Yeah.
whack-a-mole.
Get him!
I really want to try and just disappear, but that seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to the podcast, the episode that never was.
The
Hogwarts, let me
episode
ask you a
that will
question.
never be aired.
Yeah, hit me.
Let me ask you a question. What would you say is the most, the key thing required for a podcast to be successful? At base level.
Base level. So before we get to humor, engaging.
Yeah, right back. Take
banter,
it right back.
All that. Probably, I'm going to put it out there. You could disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Audio.
Absolutely. That's like a core factor. If you don't have audio, you don't have a podcast, right?
If you don't have audio,
True.
you do not have a podcast.
That is
What you
definitely
have is
true.
the Totally Happening.
We had audio, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right? On the last attempt, Travis?
Well, what we did end up with in the end was an hour-long silent video. Which I think is what we were going for, is like, the silent films of the past.
It's an art project.
It was an art project. I think it didn't really work out that way in the end, but I think it was. I think it's probably going to be the best episode we ever recorded to forever.
Probably.
I mean, there was some content in there. There was some quality content. We covered a lot of stuff, and we were all happy with it.
Sport. We covered gaming. We covered. I don't know what else.
So many things. So much.
We covered quite a lot about ourselves, I feel like.
Yep.
We had some good conversations.
Really well.
Yeah, and now it's never going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Now we have to match
How did that happen? How have we got visuals but no audio?
It was out of our control, really, I think.
Did you forget to press a button?
I did not forget to press any button. Okay, so if we actually want to get into the technical reason why this happened, we can. And it is this.
'Cause you're a knob.
Shut up. What I did, because what we need in the post-editing process, you want to separate out your audio tracks so that my mic is a separate audio track.
We have the short version.
Okay, fine. I forgot to turn on the recording for the other audio tracks.
There we go.
So, yeah, but
so you did forget to press a button.
I didn't. I assumed that by default it would be recording audio tracks 1 to 6, but in fact it has all the rest unticked, and the only audio track it records is audio track 1.
Sounds like he's playing the blame game.
Yeah,
I'm blaming OBS.
Never assume, because when you assume, you're. All
right, fair enough.
That's the well-known saying that I've heard of.
Yep.
We're dropping the C word on episode 1.
Sorry,
okay,
no, we're bleeping that. We are bleeping.
That's fine.
Keep lowering that tone. Keep it going.
That's fine. Okay, so let's move on to some actual content, and rather than the lack of previous content.
Okay.
All right. Hit me up.
Start off with, what games have we been playing
I
in the last week?
Kick this off because I've been playing a brand new game.
You have?
I've been playing a game called Farthest Frontier.
Oh yeah.
It's in early access. It came out. When did it come out? 10th? A couple of days ago. It is in a nutshell, a survival city builder game. I've played probably about 4 or 5 hours of it right now, and I've seen some footage of it on YouTube.
Can I just pause you there? I thought you were going to say, I played about 4 or 5 hours of it, and I've seen some things.
I've uninstalled.
That's where you were going.
He's had enough.
Sorry.
I'd recommend. It depends if you're into that type of thing. If you're into that kind of game.
That's pretty good. Well, I think it looks similar to a game that I played ages ago called Banished, which is very similar sort of thing.
That does get referenced a lot from the community in terms of comparisons.
Oh wow! So you've played 4 hours and you'd consider yourself a member of the community? Okay.
No, I'm just observing.
Yeah.
They won't let me in.
Outside the window looking in. Please.
Except there's you've actually got to defend yourself, right? It's actually got combat in it.
There's difficulty levels, so you can turn those off if you want to. It can't just be a calm city builder, but you can have wild animals will attack you. You have raiders attack you, and it scales in intensity as your population grows. But it's just really in depth especially for an early access. There's a lot of content. I think,
and all of the villages are named, right? So who's your favorite that you showed me the other day?
Oh, the guy running the compost heap.
Yeah.
Mate, you got to respect him. He's literally going house to house, scooping up shit and putting it into a compost heap.
He looks so happy though, didn't he? He had a skip in his step.
He loved it. Yeah. His wheelbarrow, the little twirl.
Well, that's the thing, in society, someone's got to clean the toilets, and it's just turns out to be that guy.
Yeah. And you know what? He probably gets paid more than anyone else because no one wants to do that job.
Exactly.
That's the way it should be,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the way it is in real life. We pay them like garbage, and they have to go clean up other people's shit.
Slight aside, but it is linked. How do you clean your toilet?
Just chuck bleach down it, mate.
Bleach, yeah. Do you ever use the brush?
No, but I have. No. I think I need to.
Oh, wow. Because what I
You
like
got-
to do, what I like to do is I'll bleach it, and then that's the challenge for the rest of the day is to piss the skid mark off.
Oh yeah, mate.
It's like
Yeah.
I
All day
will
long.
drink like more water than I need to and hold it in, so I've got a heavy flow, and then I'm right. This is
Try and
coming
piss
on.
as hard as you can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
mate.
bend the knees. I'll shorten the distance the range to
That's-
really. Anyway, why?
That's
a
one of
nice-
the perks of being a guy, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
a girl could do it, I suppose. Just to lean. But it's,
Quite
she's,
impressive.
yeah.
If they can.
Well, write in if you are a girl and you do that.
Well, you sit down weak because I'm a fan of the sit
And
down weak.
Hogwood will be in touch.
Email hogwood@gmail.com.
Please
and,
provide your Instagram.
No.
And no.
Good lord.
Why do you feel like you need to clean your that sounded concerning, Raptor? That
Well,
you
I
need
mean,
to use the brush.
it's just, mate, it's more skid mark than it is bowl at the moment.
Good lord. More skid mark than bowl. What thing to say?
You're using the wrong bleach. What?
Yeah, you
Might not
must
be
be.
bleach. I think I'm just chucking orange juice down it.
Double concentrate.
Yeah.
It's a bit concerning for what the missus is having with her breakfast, though.
Yeah. But the skid marks aren't coming from me, mate.
This is third pressing of orange. It tastes really weird.
This is escalated, huh? We're talking about a game.
Good lord. Yeah, are we talking about video games?
yeah,
Hogwarts,
is it
have you
worth the
played
money?
anything?
I want to know if it's worth the 25
Alright, yeah.
quid because it's early access.
So, I mean, I think 25 quid to me is quite a good price. I mean, what do we pay for Baldur's Gate as an early access? It was like 50 quid, right?
Yeah, holy shit.
That was like
Wow.
crazy money. I think 25 is worth it considering how in depth it is already. Like, you can get a lot of hours out of it without hitting that ceiling. There's a lot of content to come. So, at the moment, you can upgrade the town hall to a tier 3, and it's going to go up to a tier 5 once they release the game, apparently. But they're a few days in, and they've already released like a hot fix, like patch to the game to kind of improve some things that the community have like raised, which I think is quite good. It shows they're active and wanting to
Yeah.
make the game successful.
Nice.
So, likewise, there's also some people complaining about the game because all of their villagers died in the first winter that they had because they don't know how to play the game.
I saw that
Well,
food
that's
doesn't
gonna
last
happen.
more than 12 months or something. Like food.
So-
It
goes-
spoils, right?
Well,
Which is
so
pretty
food can spoil, but it's in depth enough that it depends on the food. It depends on the buildings that you put in. So there's something called a root cellar that can improve that, so it lasts longer. You can also make barrels, which you can put in the root cellar, which then increases that as well.
detailed.
It's very detailed, like the farming as well. That's the farm. You can set crop rotations, and there's like I don't know 10 to 12 different crops you can do. The farms have like soil types, like where it's sandy, clay-like, and you can change that by importing it across. It's got fertility that you can change by adding compost to it and digging it out. It's just really in depth, and it's going to get more in depth. But are you guys into that type of game, or?
Do you know it's not like over?
I do like it.
What's the word? Not overbearing. Over. It's not too much. Like fucking hell.
I don't think so, but only because I've watched some content of the game already. I think if you're going
Okay.
into it not knowing anything about it, the tutorial is just trash. Like, it doesn't tell you anything about the game.
Right, okay.
Real.
So I think that's why people are going into their first winter cycle. All their people die because they just don't know what they're doing.
You got stockpile and shit, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to prep a few things first of all to survive the first winter, and then once you do that, you can then improve it from there on. So yeah, I don't think it's overbearing at all, but I think it could be if you're not into that type of game.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Decent.
Interesting.
Apparently
Watch
they've
this
got
space.
they're probably gonna. It looks like they're going to be in early access for like 8 to 12 months or something. That's what they say. So
Yeah.
there's probably shitloads of updates and content coming.
So this is something I will come on to games in a minute. This is game related, but so when I was supposed to be working this morning, I was on Wikipedia and I was looking into
Yeah.
Steam. Don't ask me why. And then talking about it was one of the first. I don't know what you call them, like platforms to offer games for sale, and the ability to like update them and all that sort of stuff. Because then I got thinking, obviously, when we were younger, prior to PC and internet connected consoles and stuff, games released finished, right? So any bugs were permanent. If you had a disc for your PlayStation 1,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bug is a bug, right?
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays it's patched on day 1 or day 2 or whatever. And they, early access is super common, and I imagine a lot of games early access is when they sell the most. Like when they actually release as a game, it's not as if they do a massive marketing campaign again for a
Yeah,
new
it's
game,
it's
right?
usually just like another bump, right? So
Yeah.
like they're releasing early access. If it gets popular in early access, then it'll have like a
Yeah.
massive surge.
Like a soft
Then I
release,
guess
if that sounds dirty.
have a soft
But they don't,
release.
like you said,
Soft release.
they don't market it in the same way. I wouldn't have thought,
Yeah.
because the game is
Yeah.
already accessible.
But is there an element of some game developers or companies or whatever bit lazy? Like, whereas that would have been their job before to have people testing this game, they're just like, oh, let's just release it, and then
Well,
the shit munchers can just let us know what the problems are, and then we'll fix it.
well, that's the thing. Like most of these companies that do like early access stuff, they're indie developers. So, and if they don't currently have a game out in the market that is making them money to support development, they're not bringing in any money. So they'll get a game up to the sort of standards where they can release in early access, and then they're making money to fund the development and also, sorting out all the bug testing and stuff at the same time.
I would
So
say
it makes a
also,
lot of.
if you release it in early access, you've got a lot more people involved in it that can highlight bugs that maybe a small team of testers might not come across. Like it's like a wider group of people, so it probably benefits them in that way as well, because they're coming across things like that quicker.
Yeah.
And even beyond bugs, I guess, even little elements of the game, like it will be useful to have this mechanic, whatever, nothing huge, but minor mechanics, I guess they can add in.
Yeah, something you might not have thought of.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff is sort of influenced by the people who are playing the game, right?
Yeah.
But then, like the larger companies, like you go to like Activision or like any of those kind of people. I can't remember like any big company that has put out an early access game recently, but like they just do it to get like the early cash for most.
Yeah.
Because like, they already have the money to fund the development.
Right.
So for the most part, they're just like they're double dipping because they know they're going to get a big release for early access. Loads of people are going to get invested, and then they also get the second bump when they fully release.
Yeah.
I
Double
feel like...
dipping, soft release. Jeez.
Yeah.
I feel like
getting
Baldur's
all of
Gate must have been like that, because 50 quid was quite a steep price for a game that
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of content. Like they must have been cash grabbing based on people really wanting to play that game. And then when they did, like us, we played it, enjoyed what was there, and now aren't really that keen to carry on playing it because it's just like doing the same thing on repeat.
We
What about
did do the
games-
same content over and over again.
What about ones that crowdfund? And then I think like if you pay, there's like different tiers for some of them. Because what was the game that I did? I didn't pay, but there was a game that I played that was crowdfunded. And then some people, depending on how much you paid, got a different coloured sword or whatever in the game kind of thing. But they still had to pay for the game when it comes out. Which is a
I
bit weird.
suppose is that like earlier in the development? Like they've got an idea for a game, they've maybe put a little bit of work into it. Are you guys like interested in this? If you are, maybe crowdfund, give us some money and we can actually put it into proper development.
Yeah, maybe. I think was that Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think that was crowdfunded. Can't remember. I know there's games that were scams, right? Or sort of. Maybe not intentionally, but they just continued to crowdfund, and then the games never materialized. I think. I can't remember.
Well,
There was one famous one.
Have you heard of Star Citizen?
No.
Could be it.
So, Star Citizen is like it's supposed to be what's going to be a space sandbox, like kind of like No Man's Sky, but like you get bigger ships, and like it's supposed to be like a big online sort of space game. And they started crowdfunding. I just looked it up in 2012. This is the biggest crowdfunding project I think ever, not just game, but like
Wow,
people
okay.
have piled millions of dollars. I think it's up to 400 million. That was as of November last year. $400 million
Holy shit.
in crowdfunding money. And these people, right? The idea is they still haven't fully released the game. I think it's still in alpha, and it's been a decade now.
Holy
But
shit.
like,
Scam.
people are paying literally thousands of dollars for a ship. So they will like come up with an idea for a ship. They haven't even made it yet in the game.
Yeah.
And people will pay literally thousands of dollars just to have it. Even though the game's not out. It's such a weird thing that is like currently happening.
Here's the thing. If it goes on long enough, right, don't you get caught in an endless cycle of trying to keep up with technology?
Yeah.
Like your graphics
Yeah.
are suddenly no longer good enough because you've taken too long to develop it, and now you've got to redo that bit, and then it's just on repeat. Then like it's a rolling thing.
Yeah.
It
is kind of nutty.
Yeah, mental.
It's kind of a meme at the moment that like, you know, it's just never gonna release. They're just gonna make all their money off like selling people concept art, essentially.
They're edging the gamers. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're edging. There we go. There's another one.
Edging them to a soft release. What I don't get, I don't understand those people. If there was a game, something like, when I was waiting for Bannerlord to come out, if they were crowdfunding for that or something, I might, if there was you get your own storyline or a character, or whatever it was, I might put 20 quid, something like a tenner, right? What I might pay for the game in, knowing that I'd have to buy the game as well. But all right, it's a scale, right? A grand to somebody else might be the same as 20 quid to me. But who are these people that are putting that much money into games? It's like the Apex packs and shit that they sell for 100 or 200 quid bundles or whatever, What is, I don't
Right.
get it.
I got a question for you then. Well, for both of you, really.
Go on.
Would you have like a limit of, let's say there's a game that's coming out that you're super interested in. It might be a sequel to one you played before, like Bannerlord's a prime example. You were like obsessed with the previous one. It's taking years for this to come out. Maybe they're in alpha, or they're just thinking of developing it and they need money. But they're going to need consistent money to pay developers and whatnot. If you really wanted that game to come out, would you have an amount per month that you'd be willing to like contribute towards it? Like, would it be like a $5 a month? Considering like there's probably lots of people in the same position who would be willing to do that, and that gives them like a monthly income to pay these developers to do it. Would you have an amount
Up until the release, like
just to ensure the development of this game that you're super excited about and really want to release?
it's a tricky one. Like, yes, I could do like a $5 a month or something, but not if there were, I'd have to be pretty confident that it was a real thing.
So would they have to guarantee like a release date? Like they've got a goal in mind.
Timeline,
Like,
some
if
sort
we
of
hit
timeline.
this limit in terms of income per month, then we'll release it by this date. And it's a developer that you've heard of, that you trust, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and I
that's
think
the thing.
I was going to say, I think the number should be higher, because so the number I'm thinking of, like when I say 5 quid, I don't know if that's reasonable or not, but I think it could be higher, because when I think about how much I'm willing to pay for a game, so I can't remember how much I paid for Bannerlord. It did go on offer. I think it was 31 quid or something, down from 40. And whatever the game comes out at, it's like, oh, seems steep. It could be 50, 40, 30. I'm like, oh, it will go on offer.
Oh yeah, Steam sale.
But exactly, Steam sale. So at the moment, I want to get, I know I've got too many games to be playing, but I want to get the War Tales, right? Which is 30 quid, I think. Or 25, something like that. But it's one of those things, games, when it shouldn't be, it's like, oh, 30 quid, 40 quid for a game. When you're going to put in, so for that game, it'll be minimum 100 hours probably. It's compared to what you go and pay for the cinema or what you go and pay for other entertainment, right? For some reason, because it's a one-off purchase, I don't know what it is. I
Yeah.
think that, oh wow, that's steep, and then you think, so I don't know, Bannerlord, like what was it? I paid 30 quid and I got 111 hours so far, and that that'll go up. I haven't played it a lot, obviously, but I can't do the maths in my head, but it's like 3 pence an hour or something, or less than that, right?
Yeah.
And it's so weird when you consider what other shit I'd happily just fork out 30 quid for and then not think twice about it.
That's how games have changed, though. Like you could relate that back to Hearthstone, which is horrendous, obviously, with the way that it works. But it's like the amount. It's like the amount of hours you get out of a single game. Like, yes, you're putting money into it on a regular basis, but if you're playing the same game on a regular basis the whole year round, how is that really any different to you buying a brand new game? As long as it's bringing you enjoyment constantly, it doesn't. You don't have to put that total figure on what you've bought the game for, so to speak.
Yeah. The only clarification I'd make there is shit like Apex. So you know me, and the skins and stuff mean nothing to me. Yeah. And I'm happy. The enjoyment I get is collecting the packs and all the coins.
Just watching the number go up.
It's like grape nuts on. So little advert drop. TTV Travers streaming over on Twitch. It's like grape nuts, right? I'm a cube. There is nothing to them. Right,
69,000 grape nuts.
I got 75
he's
now.
saving up.
I want to go for that big 100,000. I get the free sub.
You don't need.
And then go sub some random e-girl with my Amazon one.
Yeah, and that is the way, I think.
Travis, what about you?
So, I mean, these days I'm like mega skeptical of basically any game that comes out. I'm like, I don't pre-order shit anymore. Because you never know how it's going to come out, especially with like the big gaming studios like EA and Nintendo are pretty consistent with their stuff. But like most gaming studios, like for example, what's it called? It was made by CD Projekt Red.
Cyberpunk,
yeah.
Oh god, that's so much hype.
That was a fucking so much hype, dude. And I was like all on board with the hype like early on. And then I was like, okay, like they're taking forever to bring this game out. Like everyone is like, it got like the hype got to a point where I was like, there's no way this game can be this good. Like I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna pre-order. I'm just gonna wait for it to come out and see what it's like. And if it's as good as people think it is, or even half as good as people think it is, because people's expectations were like so ridiculous. Like, okay, yeah, I'll get it. And then obviously it turned out to be an absolute shit show. And I was like, okay, well, there you go. That that it just reinforced like my point that I'm not going to get invested in like a game's development until I see it myself, because they will ramp the hype to unbelievable levels just to sell copies and then release a dog shit game.
I think that links back to what Hogger was saying in terms of the change in the gaming industry now. You used to be able to get hyped for a game because when it released, that the game was what it was. There was no patches. If it had a bug, it had a bug. But at least the developers had to make the game, playable completely on release. Whereas now, like you say, you can't trust it. It could get released. There's loads of hype for it because people are excited. But when it gets released, there's just bug after bug after bug. And it's just,
I'm trying to remember when that jump was. I think I must have taken a break from gaming and tried to pretend to be an adult for a bit when that transition happened. Because I don't remember it going from those releases, just a hard game release, full game, to where they started bringing in updates. Because I never had a console that connected to the internet.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally the jump. It was like when being online on console was the normal thing. That was when like the jump happened. Yeah. Which was like probably like Xbox 360, I guess, PS3.
Was that still with disc games? So you could buy a game in the shop.
Yeah.
And could that still be updated through the internet?
Because they have a hard drive on them, don't they? And if you're connected to the internet, there's nothing stopping you literally going, well, download this patch. It will just apply it to your hard drive where the game is stored.
Right.
Bish bash bosh. fixed that bug that was there.
Interesting.
Job done.
But you've also got the release of expansions now. Like every game has
Yeah.
additional
Yeah.
content. I mean, we look at what we play in Civilization, which is an incredibly expensive game. We've all got it on Steam sales, so we've saved a lot of money. But
Yeah.
if you look down the list of expansions on that, there's so many with all
Lord.
these like extra leaders you can download and how much they cost if they're not in a sale.
Yeah.
Like, you
I'd
could spend
hesitate to
tons
call
of
them
money.
expansions.
Yeah, you know
Like-
what I mean, though. I suppose. It's,
Yeah, just like added content, I guess.
the first game, well, not I don't know if it was the first game, but one of the main games to do that was always like The Sims, where they had the base game which had nothing in it, and then
Mate.
you just had constant like content packs, expansion packs, all that sort of stuff, and they did that years ago.
See, I
Dude,
think there's
but then it went out of fucking control for The Sims. Like the amount of content that they just lock behind a paywall is insane.
It's still like that now.
I think there's a difference though between a fully fledged game where you've got the entire story content, and then there's a DLC that adds an extra side element with a new map or whatever, and then a game where it's like you got the bare bones of it, but you have to pay for, because there's the DLC extra content and stuff, but then there's like the passes,
Yeah.
you know, like the season pass for shit, and you're not playing the whole game unless you pay for that additional thing, which I don't like.
Yeah.
Because I want to pay for the game and then have it.
Yeah, I mean,
but again, that's, you know, it's a weird argument, because if I'm putting that many hours in, why would you not have a subscription? Like World of Warcraft or something. I've never played that game, but if you're putting that many hours in, 20, I don't know how much the subscription is, but that much money a month.
Yeah.
For
the thing is, it made more sense for like World of Warcraft because they were having to host servers constantly for people to play on, and they had to, you know, increase servers and decrease servers depending on the player base, and like there's like upkeep to that, so it makes sense for people to pay monthly, even though I think like it was probably a bit extortionate for that in a sense to keep it going, otherwise it's not profitable. And that was like before like all the free to play stuff, like all the kind of model where like you buy skins and stuff like that, because now there are like free to play MMOs where they don't make their money through people buying the game or paying a subscription. It's just people buying skins in the store or buying like skip items where like it allows them to like skip levels or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But like that's like more of a model, because in reality, and I don't know if you've heard this, but like the gaming industry, most of the money is made on mobile games. Mobile games make more money than all other games media put together.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Weird, don't it?
Just because, yeah, I know, and it fucking sucks. Because people pay for shit. Like, they pay for garbage on mobile. And, like, someone who spends, like, thousands of pounds on, like, a mobile game, I just want to, like, fucking shake them and be like, play this game. And, like, play any other game. Go through my Steam list. Play Civ for, like, a minute. And like see what you can actually get for your money, because it's crazy that people would spend that much money on trash.
Do you remember?
But it's like the way it is, and that's why game developers want to go to that model. Like they're trying to take from the mobile market because they make shitloads of money there, and they want to make console games and PC games more like the mobile market, which really sucks. Because
well, the gaming market is now deteriorating because of all this battle pass malarkey. It's just like every game seems to have one these days, and you almost feel like sometimes that you have to have it in the way that they design it. I know, generally speaking, it's all cosmetic, and like you said, Hogwood, you don't need it to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
But there's like
as long as it's not pay to win, you know.
Yeah, that's a massive difference, and that's where I think maybe some games have probably got it wrong in the past, and I've received a lot of criticism, but I mean, Apex seems to be doing that ever so slightly with like certain skins having different iron sights on them that are slightly more beneficial. And
yeah,
like
I don't know how intentional that is, right?
You're towing the line, though, aren't you? Like,
yeah, just a little bit of pay.
Just gonna dip my toe into this to see if people notice.
Well, when we played Fortnite, there was the fucking. I don't know if it was. I think I got it free. I can't remember. Or maybe it was like a birthday pack you got me or something. But it was like an army bloke, or not a ranger or something like that. But he's like green, right? And Fortnite's very green. And then you've got like the banana skins, right? I know.
Hmm.
So this isn't paid to
Which
win.
stand out
I
like
never
crazy.
understood those. Like there's the
Mate.
dude that had the what's the
It's
thing that you
worse.
could smash open.
It's worse than that. They made a character skin that was like one of the old green army men. Just full green army man.
See, and you surely would want to play that.
Yeah, well, actually, I've seen this sort of thing in because I used to play a lot of Warzone. Well, not a lot. I used to play a bit of Warzone, and there was a skin in Warzone which was in a battle pass that was the most overpowered skin in the game, and they actually had to nerf it eventually. They had to nerf a skin because it was like literally jet black. Everything. Your face was black. Your entire character was black and quite slim as well. So they would just blend into shadows. They'd be fucking invisible like indoors. It was nutty. And yeah, the thing is, like, you end up literally, you'd go into a match and everyone would be in that skin, every single player. It's like, wait, that's not how this is supposed to work.
Well, that shows the problem, doesn't it? That highlights where it can go wrong when you're looking at cosmetics and not having it pay to win.
Yeah, I think I like cosmetics in games. Like, I prefer cosmetics to anything else. If as soon as I'm paying for content in the game or paying to skip something, I'm like, why am I paying to skip that? Like, does that mean your content is shit and I shouldn't be playing it? Does that mean you've stretched this out? And does that mean you've stretched it out and made it more grindy so that I feel more inclined to pay for this? Like,
do you remember a couple of months ago when I put messages in the group chat saying, hey guys, is anyone willing to download this game if I send you a link through Facebook?
You're one of them.
I was playing a mobile game, but I did not want to pay. I wanted to get as far as I could without paying. And I'm not going to lie, a couple of points, it got to, I can't even remember how it worked now, but it kind of renewed every 3 days or something. And like you try and progress, like build something up. I can't remember what it was. And it would keep resetting, and then you try and get to the next level, and you try and do as many of those as you can in 3 days or whatever it was. But what you wanted to do was tactfully build it right up to the edge for the last one that you would know you wouldn't be able to get to the next level. What you didn't want to do is get to that level and then restart and be at the very bottom on the start of the next third day kind of thing. So it's a really weird system, but I overcooked it a couple of times. Instead of leaving it right on the edge, I dropped into the next thing and I was right at the bottom, and it was like 12 hours to go. So then I'm like, if I get like 2 friends to download this game, they give me a boost or whatever, they'll get me to the next level. Or if I pay like $2.99,
this is what they hope for. They got you, mate.
I was this close. Like, oh, it's just $2.99. Like the game is shit. Like, but it's
you
one of
can
those.
afford that.
It's one of those toilet games, right? Yeah, exactly. It's $2.99.
I got dragged into a mobile game years ago, and I was playing every fucking day. Every day for like, it must have been like 8 months.
Yeah.
Maybe longer than that. But like, it absolutely had its claws in me.
Yeah.
And I spent a bit of money in the game. It must have been less than a tenner, but I was like just fully addicted to this thing.
Yeah. It's clever, isn't it?
The moment that I said to myself, okay, I don't have enough time in my day to be doing this shit, I'm just going to uninstall it. The weight off my shoulders, it was insane. I was like, okay, I'm done.
What was the game?
I've got all that time back. Oh, what was it called?
Was it one of those island ones? Like,
it was like an auto fighter.
So I've been addicted to a mobile game before, many years ago. But you guys ever played Clash of Clans?
Yeah. It was either that or something very similar.
So that
was
that
like
game,
the epitome of that, wasn't it?
Exactly. Like I don't know if I spent money on it. I must have done. It was one of those daily things. Like it escalated more and more over years of playing it, to the point where it took over my day. Like, so they have a system of clan wars in it, and they're timed. Like, you have to do the wars in the 2 days that they're on, and you have 2 attacks, and then you have the people in your like clan like having a go at you because you haven't done your attacks yet. You're like, come on, where's Raptor? And then you're like getting home from work, you're on the fucking shitter, and you're like doing these attacks, and then you're rushing to get your next army built because you don't have enough time to build the army for your second attack. And I just thought to myself at one point, I was like, I just can't. What am I doing? I can't keep doing this.
No.
But it gets to the point where it's just not just the fact you're clocking in daily, you're aware that a build or a
Yeah.
process takes a certain amount of time. You almost kind of like note it down, like, oh shit, I need to make sure when I go on my break later on
Yes.
that I check that because I know the time will be done. I need to maximize, like, because
Yeah.
that finishes and you haven't then started the next one. You haven't queued it or whatever. So
Mhm.
you need to maximize that time. It's like, I'm going to stop what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I knew it was around 4 o'clock that I need to start this again. And it's a
The
fucking mobile game.
height of it, I
Tailor
was
your
logging
day around
into
that.
it like when I woke up when I went to the toilet. Every time I went to the toilet on lunch break, when I got home from work, I was on there all evening long, just like watching TV with it like on my tablet in the background.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It just takes over your life, and that's how they make their money. I guess that's why it's the biggest market for
And you're
gaming.
not
They know how
really
to get
enjoying
their
it. It's like a
claws into
chore.
people.
Yes, that's
It's
how it
not
turned
like
out. I enjoyed it at the
it's not-
start.
Becomes a job.
But
And you get invested,
Yeah.
especially if you spent quite a bit of money in it. Like
Yeah.
the chances you're going to stop playing are so low just
You
because
feel
you feel like you're
obligated.
invested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
a bit insidious. So our conclusion to that is mobile games poo-poo.
Yeah.
Poo-poo
Yes,
mobile
sir.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get suckered in.
Because it's
Yeah.
that sort. If you had that game on Steam, you would not boot it up on a PC. Like there's so little content to it. Not little content because it's clever what they've got, but you wouldn't play it. You wouldn't sit and play it for hours, would you?
No.
Like
No.
on a PC. But because it's so accessible on your phone, it's weird.
It basically strips down. So like you have like a fully fleshed out game, but it strips down a video game to like its bare bones. You know, you've got like you've got the progression and you've got like the satisfaction of like I guess building up from nothing to something. Which just is just like it just targets that part of your brain, which is just like, oh yeah, this is satisfying. I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is just that. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah, there's no
FYI,
story or
FYI, I did actually max that game. I upgraded everything to the maximum I
No
could.
way.
It took me like 3 years, but I did do it.
Yeah.
Did they stop
Well, you did it. You completed
updating
it.
No, so I went back into the game purely out of curiosity, just to see where they'd taken it.
Mm.
So when I finished, it was like the town hall level was 10. Like you can go higher than that. And to be fair, the map with everything you could build was filled up. Like you couldn't do any more, and they'd introduced clan wars and blah blah blah. I went back into it long ago, and I swear it was up to like town hall 12 or 13, and they'd added a second map. So
Yeah.
not just your normal buildings, you could go on a boat to a second map and build more things. That was like a separate mini game, and I was like,
Good lord.
how have they filled all this stuff in? Like, where there has to be an end to it at some point, because a new player coming into it has to commit a lot of money or a lot of years into that
Yeah.
game.
Man, if your game takes years to complete, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, I take that back. There's like MMOs and stuff, which I guess is just different.
What I want to hear about, Chavez, is
Go on.
what game have you been wasting your time on for the last week, and how's that been going?
Oh fuck. Okay, well, I mean, I could talk about something that's not Apex.
Bear in
Not
mind,
what I
we
meant.
know what game you're playing.
I've been playing Boneraiser Minions. How about that?
No. There's a different one.
Yeah.
What?
Not what you've been playing in the bedroom, whatever that is. Don't.
Hey, what are you talking about?
It's a certain stressful-looking game that me and Hogwood refuse to play.
Wait.
Oh, play it up.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh man, there's so many games that I don't want to play that he's playing. I was referring to.
Shut up.
We were
the,
talking about this, like take the most stressful job possible and turn it into a game, and then get
Mate,
screamed
it's
at.
so good.
That
It's
wasn't
so
what I was on
good.
about. I was on about the Iron Man run that you're doing on Pokemon.
Oh,
You've
god,
had
well, I'm
80
doing that as
starts
well.
on.
Well, take your
Yeah,
pick.
I'm up
Which
to
one do you
80
want to
on
talk
that.
about?
Yeah.
I can briefly talk about all of them. So I think probably the best of the three kind of games I've been playing this week, I would say, is Play Up. Play Up, solid game. You're just in a kitchen. So the layouts are randomly generated. You usually end up with a kitchen area and like front of house, and then like a little storeroom. And you get given like a recipe to cook, a specific recipe for that run. It's like a roguelite in a way that you start a run. The run ends at 15 days, so you have to survive 15 days, but you make one single mistake and that's run over, which could be, you know, a customer's been waiting too long, or someone's been waiting outside because there's no tables available, or like something like that, and then that's it,
Shit
run
in a
over.
meal and served it.
No, that's fine. But then everything along the roads, like every day you get new upgrades, and like you just got to keep it going as best as you can, and then you get debuffs, which are also random. So you get to pick between like 2 different debuffs, and it could be like you get more customers at the start of the day, so there'll be like a big rush, or it could be something like add a whole new dish, which would be like a starter, so you could get like soup, which then you have to cook something else, and they basically have 2 different courses, and like you just got to juggle all this shit. But I love it. I love the random element to it. I love like the fact that you can just play like up to 4 players, and it's not that stressful, really. Like I don't see myself getting mad at it, because like a lot of the time you just get like caught out, or you like make a silly mistake or something, and then it's just like run over. But like, hello there.
It seems like it would be stressful for me in Hogwarts, knowing how
Really?
you can rage sometimes.
Dude, I promise you, I
You'd
would
be a
never
proper
rage at this
chef.
game.
Yeah.
Would not at all. I'm
The
bad at it as
steak
well,
is
by the way.
overdone.
Table 1's meal is getting cold.
Yeah.
Serve it.
But don't you think that'd be funny though? At
What do
least
you
it's
call
more
this? Take it
thematic.
back. No,
I could
no,
be like a Gordon Ramsay.
This is one of those games where it's.
It's
I do not
fucking
get.
raw.
Fucking raw. Hold on.
It's fucking raw!
There we go.
This is one of these games where I like. There's other ones, Farming Simulator, right?
Yeah.
So Flying Simulator I get. Farming Simulator I don't, and this chef game I don't get. Right? I understand that you may not
No?
want to go and get a job, like as a pot wash, but that's what you were doing, like for an entire run, right? And then I play games. You know, you could say, like if you play Apex, or whatever, like why don't you join the army? I don't think it's quite the same, right? I can't fly and
I mean, that's
call in
a
airstrikes
real
and shit.
simplistic take.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
Yeah. It would be for Apex because it's not the same thing. But like you're literally, I saw the character doing this with his arms, doing the washing up,
Yeah. It's hilarious.
and then putting them on the rack, and going and collecting the dirty dishes and then washing them up.
This is why
I
Chad
get
has
that
played
it's a
it.
puzzle.
You have
I get
your
there's
role.
A puzzle. There's a
He's
puzzle,
thinking back.
right,
He's
element
thinking
to
back
it,
to his
but-
days as a pot wash.
Exactly. I did used to work as a pot wash and a chef. Well, I wasn't a chef. I was a cook. Okay, but okay, sure. If you want to simplify it that much, but the whole point is there is that sort of puzzle element where you kind of have to make everything work, and you have to like rearrange your layout to be as efficient as possible, which I think is like the fun side of it.
Yeah.
And also just like, I don't know, like that sort of role playing element is pretty funny, I think. Like if you're just like in the kitchen cooking and like raging out that there aren't enough plates or something, I love the idea of that.
How many? I would play it, I suppose, but how many hours do you think you can get out of it? Because I think I do like one
quite a
day, and then I'd be
lot.
like, yeah, that's fun, but I'm not going
But
back in.
they've got this sort of progression system to it as well. Like you unlock more stuff the further you get.
This feels like we're going back to the previous conversation. Have they got microtransactions as well?
No, there's
You
no
can skip ahead
microtransactions.
two levels if you just pay $9.99.99.
It starts off quite simplistic, right? In that, you know, at the start of the game, as soon as you boot it up, all you have is steak. That is it. And you have to cook it rare, medium, or well done. And those are your options. But then, like, as you go on, you unlock, like, salads, you unlock pizzas, you unlock... what else? There's
Mushrooms.
loads of shit. You can have mushrooms as, like, toppings on pizzas and shit. Like, it gets pretty complex. But I like it. It's really fun. Anyway. I want you to give it a go. Just one go. I think you'll like it. Anyway. Another game I've been playing, which is really good. Boneraiser Minions. Boneraiser Minions. This is like many, many other games that I've played, including... So if anyone's played Vampire Survivors, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like... there's like a recent trend of indie games, which is like you're in a top-down view, you're running around, and it's like waves of enemies, and you're just like trying to kill everything on screen and progress by either getting like power-ups or in Boneraiser Minions. In that case, you're just getting more minions to like your little horde, which go around killing everything. So, just like over time, you're getting like more and more demons, and you just have to survive as long as possible, beat the end boss. You unlock more progression. It's super fucking fun, and it's like literally £1.69 on Steam. £1.69 on Steam.
Giggity.
Insanely cheap.
Steep.
I think they must have did that on purpose. But crazy cheap, and it's just like, I don't know, I've put like 8 hours into it. I've almost 100% of it. It's pretty good.
Nice.
And the other game we've been playing is Pokemon, but
When have
different.
you been playing Boneraiser? You've not streamed it.
I haven't streamed it. I was like, maybe this would be like a fun game to stream, because like the progression was quite quick and you're just constantly unlocking stuff, and it's quite interesting. But then in that space from when I booted the game up and thought, oh, this would be interesting to stream, I played like 4 hours of it and unlocked like almost everything. so then I was like, okay, well, now I can't fucking stream it, because I've basically done everything, and now it will just look very confusing to people, because there's everything's just happening on screen. But yeah, I love it. It's a good game. And been playing Pokemon. I've been doing a stupid challenge run on my Twitch channel, #ad, and it's hilarious and awful.
You've been getting ragey. You've been getting real ragey.
Briefly explain the rules and then explain how far you got.
Okay, so there are a lot of rules to this, but like the basic concept is you get one Pokemon, which is your starter, which you can trade out, actually. So not necessarily, but you only get to use one Pokemon at a time. You're not allowed to fight wild Pokemon to level up. You can only fight trainers. You can only heal in battle and at Pokemon centers, I think. And also, like, there's loads of modifiers, so it's like a randomizer. So the 3 Pokemon at the start which you pick are completely randomized. It could be anything. And also all their moves are randomized, and their stats are randomized.
And
so you could end up with like garbage.
Right?
Yeah. So also, all trainer Pokemon, wild Pokemon, have their levels increased by 50%. So the main challenge, the first substantial challenge is getting past the first battle with your rival. So you pick your Pokemon, you walk down 3 steps, and then you have to fight your rival, who has a level 8 of whatever they pick, and you have a level 5. So you first have to beat them with your randomized fucking most likely garbage Pokemon. Which is where most of the deaths happen. A few times now I've got to the first gym. I've twice gotten in range of beating Brock with 1 turn left. 1 turn and I would have had him.
You had 1 hit, didn't you? I saw
twice. Yeah. It was so fucking demoralizing. Because you get to that point, and I know for a fact, because I've seen other streamers do this challenge, as soon as you get past that first gym, the game opens up quite a lot. Like, you start ramping up in levels. You start becoming much higher level than the Pokemon that you're fighting. So it starts to get a bit easier after you've beat the first gym. But up to that point, like, it's super challenging. And then obviously, like, there's points in the game which are really hard. I guess especially the Elite Four, because if you haven't saved up all your heals for the Elite Four, you're kind of a bit screwed.
Yeah.
Is
this red? Or?
Not that I'm never getting to that point. It's Fire Red, so it's like I think it was like the Game Boy Advance remake.
Right. So if people listen to this and they want to play that, how do they do that?
Oh fuck! You need so many things. So, I mean, first you need an emulator and you need the ROM, And then
Yeah,
you
no
also
life.
need the randomizer software. Shut up.
Got him.
You need the randomizer software to create the randomized saves, which you'll need a lot of. I did like a batch randomization of like 100 saves, so I
Which
could
you're
just go
closing
from
in
one to
on,
the
right?
next. I'm close. Yeah, I'm on try 80. So
Are you actually?
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done 80 runs.
Wow.
How many
With
times
no
have you got
dice.
to Brock? A couple times.
I'd say I've got to Brock maybe like 5-6 times out of those 80.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a tough challenge.
It is pretty tough, and also like you can just be destroyed by random bullshit. Like there are a couple of runs where I got hit by, what is it? There's like Perish Song, which is like an insta kill.
Fisher.
There's one, I can't remember what the move's called, but it's like,
some shit.
yeah,
like
I've got killed by an explode or whatever.
bullshit.
There's one where they tie your fate to theirs, so that if you kill them, they kill you.
Destiny Bond.
Destiny Bond, yeah, that's it. Fuck, dude, that was one of the worst.
Yeah.
I was having a good run, and then they just Destiny Bonded, and I was like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do.
Perish
I'm
Song's
just
like that as
dead.
well, right? You're just dead in 3 turns or something with Perish Song.
It takes
unless
3
you
turns,
switch it out,
yeah.
which you can't because you have 1 Pokemon.
Yup. So if you're in a trainer battle, you either need to finish that very quickly or perish.
You know you have your HM Pokemon, so your Pokemon that can learn HM moves, but you're not allowed to use
Yeah.
battle. Can you switch him out? Can you like bring him into battle and then not use any moves and just let him die?
I don't think you can. I don't think you're allowed to switch out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing, because like you can get forced switched out, right? There are moves which like
Yeah.
bump you out of the battle and bring in the next one or whatever.
Raw. That's one of them.
Yeah. So I guess like I don't know, maybe I need to have a look through the rules a bit more. Not that I haven't got to that sort of point where I need HM. So who knows? Anyway, let's not talk about it too long, because as if people are interested in Pokemon or weird runs of Pokemon.
It's interesting though. People can watch you, fail constantly on your Twitch channel.
Yeah,
Pretty much
it's great.
like what we just. No, I was gonna be really harsh.
Wow.
I'd say so about real life, but I won't go there. It's like watch what
Jeez.
we watch
Just
you
like
do
we
on a
have
daily
for the last
basis.
2 decades.
Yeah.
Speak for
Oh, yeah,
yourself.
so fuck. I guess like this is the first episode. We should probably explain. We're like, we are like, we've been friends for most of our lives at this point.
Debatable, but yeah.
Yeah, debatable.
We've
But
known
on
each
and
other.
off, on and off.
Acquaintances.
Yeah.
Come on now. I guess we've kind of like all gone our separate ways, but we're still keeping in contact and play games together and stuff. Sometimes on my Twitch channel.
Yeah. We've refused to create other social circles.
Yeah.
We've all
Oh,
moved
man,
away from
being
each
social
other
is so hard. Yeah.
and just decided it's easier to connect digitally rather than go out and make new friends.
I'd rather
Gonna
not. I'll be
hide
honest.
away.
Yeah, yep.
The devil you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was sat at work today, out eating my lunch, and there's a group of my peers, right? About 12 of them all playing this weird bouncy game, like out on the grass having their lunch together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could walk over there, right? Like one of them like gave the wave and that sort of thing. But they've stopped inviting me now because, like, when you say no so many times, right? People just give up.
Yeah.
But I made like a point of it's a quad, and I was like on the opposite corner, like diagonally as far away as possible. But I sat looking at them when I was eating my lunch. Like, I'm involved. I'm watching them play. I'm seeing who's winning, and then went back in. And that's
You were the,
that's as
you were
far
the
as my
cheerleader.
social- Yeah.
I'm a watcher, not a player.
Yeah. But because I knew I was going to get my social, I was going to say social needs. That was weird.
Fix.
My social needs, yeah, my social fix tonight. So
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I also try and stay as far away from people as I can. Which doesn't always work.
No.
I hate, like, especially like at work. I'm an awkward social person, to put it at least.
Yeah.
No, really.
But like, I have my earphones in like most of the day as like a sign of I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah.
People still do. Like it's not like I'm not friends with quite a lot of people at work, but I think they understand like where I'm at. Like I don't always want to be talked to.
Yeah.
And I just like most of the time I just want to stay in my own space.
I hate that element of like, so I've got an office mate. Presumably, we're not
Yeah.
going to get big enough to the point where he's going to see this, right? He's all right. He's all right. I'll leave it there. But he'll do the social bit, right? If we're in at the same time. Thankfully, we don't cross over too much. But when it's in, it's like, all right, how's it going? How's it going? And it's the same as if I bump into somebody walking around. You put on that kind of voice and that face. But I've been caught out so many times where I have that interaction and then I'm walking away and my face, it's not that I hated the interaction, but my face returns to what it was like before and it just drops, right? Like it's, yeah, smiling. Oh, no, yeah, see, how's work going? And then I turn away and it just drops. But it's happened so many times where there's somebody else walking and they've seen that happen. And then I bump into them and do the same thing. And they must know as soon as I walk away from them, I've gone back to, oh, that was so painful. Like, it's not that I don't care about how your day is going or, what you've been doing, but I don't care.
I'm with you.
It's such a fucking...
It's the forced conversations that mean nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that either.
I like the nod.
Also,
the
I have like
nod. That's it.
Yeah. Also, I have the same line every single time I see someone, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm worried. I'm like, I need to get like a new line because
give us the line.
Must know. It's just like, hey, you're right. And then if they ask how I'm doing, it's just like, yeah, not bad. How are you? And
not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Exactly.
It's so pointless.
That is the line.
Because I'm not going to turn around and go, mate, I'm on the fucking edge. I need you to talk me down, which is the truth a lot of the fucking time, right?
All right. Let's not get too much into psyche.
But I'm not having a good time.
You just pull the collar back on your shirt, and there happens to be a rope there already around it.
They ask how you're doing, and you just look at them and just lightly shake your head, just like.
Don't break eye contact. You just stare at them.
Yeah.
But it's such a stupid thing.
I've got on my desk. So it's almost like a mini cry for help, right? Because there's like someone put a post-it note on like a product or something, like stuff we work on, and put it on my desk, and it just said, "Please fix me." And so I've taken that post-it note off and I've just stuck it on my desk. So now it just says for everyone to see, "Please fix me."
I think you should get a T-shirt with that on.
To make a comment. Oh yeah, fuck! If we ever do merch.
One of this, I have a meeting every fortnight. Like, it's a fixed one, like a progress meeting, which is kind of important, but it's specifically to me, about me, with two chaps, and it's fine. Like, I never feel under a lot of pressure, but I feel a lot of the time there's a social element. Someone will chat for like 20 minutes. One of them's a talker. He'll chat about shite for 20 minutes, and I'm just there like, oh my god, I'm stressed because I need to talk about the progress I've made and the bits I'm working on, where I'm stuck, all that sort of stuff. And then I'll get onto that bit. Excuse me. I'll get onto that bit. Explain what I'm doing. I'll say everything I've got to say. There's interaction, and they'll follow up on certain bits or give some thoughts on it. And then there's long ass pauses where I guess I could take charge and go, oh, that's it, from me, unless you've got anything, blah blah blah. But I'm always like, oh, let them. They're older than me, so I just let them kind of take the lead with shit. But what happens is I'm writing notes, like copious amounts of notes, or pretending to, because what I do is they're never going to see this. I've recorded.
He's just drawing dicks. He's just drawing loads of dicks.
It's been digital. Like these meetings have been on Teams and that since COVID and that. So I use Streamlabs to record it.
Yeah.
Only ever for myself to go back over because I can't write as quickly as I think, kind of thing. But what will happen is I'll pretend to write my note, or I will jot something down, and then it'll finish, and I'll look back up like I've said my piece. What now? And it's like dead silent. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep pretending to write till somebody says something. And what I find, I can send you a picture in a minute. In my notebook is like, so you got the date at the top and the meeting, and then a few key points I wanted to bring up, any notes I have written, and then annotated around that is help me.
Basically doing lines
Please,
like Bart Simpson.
please, yeah, but please say something. Help me. The silence is so painful. Like, I am pretending to write. Please say something. And then eventually one of them will go, well, all right, yeah, because I had it this afternoon. It's always like 4:30 on a Friday, and it kind of bleeds
That's a
into
shit
5,
time
6.
to have it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
It goes on that long.
well, because first half an hour's waffle and the last half an hour's waffle, but
Jesus
the
Christ.
awkward silences kill me. And yeah, I'll send you a picture, but it's just help me, which is a bit weird
That's
because I leave that
incredible.
on my desk. Yeah,
Send me a picture and I'll put it in the podcast.
nice.
Yeah, I guess that's our day today. I had a almost like a meltdown moment the other day, actually. The other week, like I'd ordered Domino's, which that already says I'm not in a good place, right? So I ordered Domino's, I think just for myself actually, which is worse. I have a housemate. And this cable is not my usual cable for these headphones. I had a black one that was like 2.5 meters. It's too long. It's the cable that came with the headphones. I'm not going to blame the cable though. So where I'm sat now, I'm upstairs and I can look out the window and like see if like people are coming up to my front door. So I thought I saw the Domino's guy. So I planted my headphones down on the table. Right.
I love
was
where
about
this
to
is
do
going.
my walk of shame to the front door. Well, it wasn't a walk. I fucking ran because I was hungry. Right. And I caught my leg on the cable of these headphones, which are plugged into the top of my PC, right? And I pulled my entire PC over on its side. It slammed when it hit the ground, right? So I was shitting myself. The screens went black, right?
Oh.
Guys at the front door waiting for my pizza, waiting for me to come down and get it. And also, so like, because I was like terrified, I went and looked at my PC. I tilted it back upright, like terrified that I destroyed it. Right, and I looked at the cable and it snapped the fucking headphone jack.
Oh no!
Like inside the PC.
Shit.
Oh fuck!
I did break something. I'm still not sure how it happened. I mean, because I tried to boot my PC back up and it just like kept flashing up with like errors. Like, I think it was like the CPU was too hot, right? And I was like, okay, so like, is the sensor broken? Because like it shouldn't be running that hot. It was like running at like almost 100 degrees. Turns out I broke like the header for my liquid cooler on the motherboard.
God.
Somehow, I don't know how that happened, but like it could have been a whole lot worse. So I just unplugged it and plugged it into a different header. But like for like a good hour, I was like absolutely stressing that I'd fucked my PC, which by the way is more expensive than I'd like to admit. And I think I'm still paying it off. but and then I sat down and ate cold pizza because obviously I wasn't eating pizza.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to fix what is like basically my life.
Yeah, and your income, right?
But all of my income.
Can I just point out that I thought that was going somewhere else? So when you said I ordered Domino's and then this isn't my usual headset, this cable's normally black, I thought that was going, I was so hungry, I picked up the pizza and gnawed through the cord and just chewed through the cable.
That'd be a whole new level of low. Yeah, so that wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day to start with, and it just got a whole lot worse.
When was this? What day was this?
What day was it?
Sometime
this week. Must have been. Might be last Sunday or something.
Well, all's well that ends well.
It was traumatic.
Mm.
Well, we've been going for like just over an hour. So
We've only done games today.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
I was going to go through like a bit of news or something, but we can leave it there for now.
That was a good combo.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I didn't bring up anything horrendous.
Unlike the first episode we recorded, my lord, that would have taken some editing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wanted to just be myself.
Instead, I just shut down the audio. I was like, nope. Okay. Is there anything you guys want to plug?
Yes, my butthole.
Fair enough.
There it is. And we'll
You can
end on
catch-
that.
No, wait. So other than hashtag TTV Chavez,
Okay.
so it wasn't all just, games that we wanted to talk about. So if anybody does actually listen to this or watch it, if you're on YouTube, comment, or obviously you could just tell us. Presumably you've got us on WhatsApp if you're watching this.
But if you're
But
not,
if you're not, comment in the chat. So there's a few different things, right? With some hypotheticals. So if
Yeah.
you just, so one of the things we discussed in detail last week was if you could take inches off your height and add them to your dick, what would you go for?
That's a tone
So-
for you.
That was a real
Oh
deep
my
discussion. So
God.
that kind of hypothetical is always good, Bants. Then we thought about a Dear Deirdre. No, is it Aunt? What?
Well,
Aunt
what
agony aunt.
did we go with?
Agony Aunt. Yeah,
Like
Dear
an, yeah,
Deirdre
it was
thing.
like an agony aunt sort of thing.
Yeah, but an excruciating uncle is what I wanted to call it. So Dear
I do
Peter,
like that.
and it's going to catch on. So any question, any advice that you want from us, because obviously we've got some life experience,
It doesn't have to be too serious.
Yeah.
It could literally be anything, and
Yeah.
obviously we're not like qualified in any way, but we can like weigh in with our
One of us
opinion and
has a
have a little
child.
chat about it.
of us
I would
does.
say if you want to send in something that's like personal, I wouldn't stick it in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I would say probably DM me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, Chavez _.
Yeah. And it will be anonymous, obviously. Even if it's funny,
Yeah,
it's fine.
I think it will always be anonymous unless
Yeah.
for whatever reason you want us to say your name.
And then other questions.
Yeah.
So there's hypotheticals. So it can be funny like that one. But then last week again we had a discussion from Olius. Gave us a question which was, if you could only play one video game for the rest of your life. I think was that it? It wasn't what was your
Yeah.
favorite, but it was if you could only play
Yeah.
one video game, what would it be? And we had some interesting discussion. So I think for all three of us, it wouldn't necessarily be our favorite game that we chose because we'd want some replayability. So that kind of question that just starts a conversation that might go anywhere. So
Edit that
I
out.
was, I was really trying to hold it into the end of the stream. I'm sorry.
Perfect. I can,
Well,
it's okay. I can edit
there's-
around that.
There's the topic areas anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Get
we
involved.
want hypotheticals and we want your problems, whatever they may be,
Yeah.
serious
It'll
or
make
not.
us feel better about us. Oh,
Yeah,
what we
true.
didn't mention as well is it's called the Totally Happening Podcast, THP, pronounced FUP,
True.
sponsored by Great
It can
Nuts.
be pronounced that way. Okay, have we got it all in?
every 50 gram serving has 80 grams of protein.
What the hell?
65 a day.
Yeah, 65 a day. Get some. Delicious.
Great Nuts.
Nom nom nom.
Okay. You can catch all of us probably over at twitch.tv/Havers. Link in the description or whatever.
That's
Okay,
for the visual
we'll leave it there.
listeners.
Let's leave it there.
Oh yeah, he's
Leave it
dabbing
there.
out.
Yeah, he
for
started
a visual
dabbing.
description.
It's only going
He
to get
started
worse.
dabbing. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Listening. Bye.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
That was really good. That was better than last week.
Perfect.
Was it?
Yeah, Siva,
Yeah.
Siva just needs a
It's
warm up.
fluid.
It was fluid.